Wonderful.
This is
Wonderful.
so cool.
Yes,
This is what everybody be doing.
Yes, yes. This is it. This is it.
Okay.
Hey, good people.
Hey, y'all.
How's everybody doing? Y'all all right?
I wonder if it's going to save after we...
I think it will.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. All right.
Yeah.
Well, we, how you doing?
All right.
Okay, good.
All right.
Okay, good. Well,
Yeah.
we had a pretty busy work day, the both of us, but it's been a good day.
Yes,
so
it has been.
We are shaking it up a little bit. We're going live, but we're going live on YouTube.
Yes.
So we're gonna see how this works. It seems cool. I think we've done it once.
I think we've done it
before. Yeah. So but anyways, y'all, we are
hide your wife, hide your kids.
Yeah, right.
Tell a friend. We're gonna use that same your little rhythm there, a little cadence there.
Okay.
Tell somebody. Tell somebody we out here.
Yeah, so send this to
Yes.
a friend. We are talking about attachment styles again, y'all. This is part 2. So we did part 1 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
And it went really well.
Why are we going bi-weekly though? What do we have going? Y'all got I know you got something going on that you know you've been so busy.
Y'all, we have.
You gotta hold on to it, don't you?
Yeah. We gotta hold on to it. It's
God.
a lot of good stuff.
Yes.
And all of it will be revealed in due
Yes.
time.
Working on some stuff.
Just hold on, y'all. In about maybe a week.
Probably 2 weeks.
Okay, in 2 weeks.
I think the 9th, like somewhere after that.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So
February 9th, like that weekend sometime. Or maybe,
So maybe the weekend.
For Valentine's Day. Maybe we'll do that.
We'll send something. We'll share some really big news.
Yes.
With you guys that we're really excited to share. So if you don't already know, I'm Lauren. I am a psychotherapist with Fresh Hope Counseling Center.
Yes, and she's wonderful.
Thank you.
I am Dr. Lakiba. I am a psychotherapist as well, and this is Fresh Hope Today.
Yeah,
and we are happy you are here. We came to share with you good people, and we say good people with 100% intention. Because there's a lot of different kind of people out there.
Mm-hmm.
But we know you're tuned in tonight because you are endeavoring to attach in your relationships in a way that's healthy.
Yeah,
in a way that's secure. And that's what we want to talk about tonight. But before we do that, I want to know, how are you feeling?
Okay.
How are you feeling? Yeah, this is the wheel of emotion. So how are you feeling today? How are you feeling, Lauren?
I feel joyful.
I'm gonna let y'all see the back of it because it's on the front and the back.
I feel joyful.
Mm-hmm. Joyful. Good. So I feel excited.
Okay, good.
I'm excited. I'm excited to be here tonight. I'm excited to talk about attachment styles. That is my area of interest.
Yeah. Do you want to talk a little bit? I think it's appropriate for you to talk a little bit about your area of interest this episode.
Let's do it.
Okay.
I will do it. Okay. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Attachment theory is near and dear to my heart because in my PhD program, I talked about attachment to God.
Mm-hmm.
So we talked about Mary Ainsworth and John Bowlby 2 weeks ago, and attachment theory as it relates to children and infants and adolescents, right? Just thinking about that relationship. And so we also talked about Hazan and Schaefer. Hazan and Schaefer were talking about growing that up and applying that same framework to romantic relationships. Well, in my PhD dissertation, I wrote about Christian adult educators' attachment to God, using that same framework. So the idea that as a child of God being an attachment figure, a safe haven, a secure base. How do those of us that teach Christian adult education, whether we're a minister, a pastor, a Bible study teacher,
counselor educator,
right? any proponent of Christian adult education, how do we connect to God? And does that inform how we teach about God to other people? And so I love everything about attachment theory because I do believe that we, as the theory says, are hardwired for relationships. We're hardwired for connection.
Yeah.
Now, the literature says that this is a evolutionary leaning, that back in the day when our foreparents were moving around and trying to make sure that they didn't get eaten by lions, tigers, and bears. They had to stay together in the tribe, in their groups, right, to keep themselves safe. And according to the theory, that has continued, right? Today, we also try to stay together. That makes us feel safe. We also perceive threats. Similar, our brain doesn't realize we're not running from lions and tigers and bears now, but your brain will perceive a threat from somebody not liking a post. Come on, somebody, on social media. That's why we have to get our brain and tell it, that is not a threat to me. It's okay if people don't like my post.
Right.
So I'm secure in my attachment with the Creator. I'm secure in my relationship with myself, and then reaching out to other people and having a more positive mental image of ourselves, having a more positive mental image of other people. That's going to translate to a secure attachment. So that's the long and the short of it. And I don't apologize for the theory because we come in here with that first point of knowledge, right? We want you to know what's really going on. So when you don't get that like from somebody, you feel that emotion coming up. That's that whole herd tribe thing, feeling like abandoned or isolated or neglected. That's when you remind yourself. You kind of do a check, like, what is this? What is the threat of this? It's really not a threat to me. I'm okay. I'm okay, and I'm going to be okay. So thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for sharing that. Absolutely. I thought it was important for our watchers, listeners, to know kind of how important this subject really is to you. And so I wanted
Studied
to take
a great
time. Yeah. So without further ado, we're going to get into part 2 of attachment styles. So today we are going to talk about. So last 2 weeks ago we talked about the different types of attachment styles. Today we're going to be talking about triggers, the different triggers for each type of attachment style.
Let's recap that, and we want to talk to you all as well. And this is a rhetorical question, so don't get in the chat and put it in there. But after we had the conversation that we had 2 weeks ago, have you been reflecting on what you perceive to be your attachment style? Did you think about that? Did you look further into it and do a little study of it? And were you thinking, I think I might be secure in my attachment. I have a positive mental image of myself and a positive mental image of other people. Or maybe you thought to yourself, you relate it more to the anxious attachment. So Lauren, you want to describe that one for us?
Sure. Yeah. So anxious attachment style is a person with the attachment style that essentially is anxious, always worried about somebody leaving them or not being happy in the relationship, worried about the status of the relationship, and worried about how the person perceives them that they're in relationship with. And for the most part, I'd say it's a constant state that puts you in a constant state of worry. So you're not able to really be present in the relationship because you're always worrying about how the person feels about you. So that's just a little recap of those of us who are navigating an anxious attachment style.
So an anxious attachment style has a more positive mental image of other people and not a very positive mental image of themselves. In that regard, worrying about the other person leaving, getting a relationship with someone else,
not being
worthy,
not being satisfied with their partner, not being satisfied with you, even if they're not satisfied in general. If you're a person with an anxious attachment style, you're in a relationship with another person and they're just having a bad day, that's going to affect the way that your day is going, because you're worried about how is that going to affect the way the person sees
to make them mad?
me. Yeah. And is this person going to not want to be around me, spend time with me, in relationship with me, because they're going through a hard time? So that's anxious. You want to talk about avoidance?
Talk about avoidance. So those of us with avoidant attachment styles have a more positive mental image of ourselves and not so positive mental image of other people. What does that mean? That means that have difficulty trusting other people when the going gets tough, when relationship is difficult. We withdraw from people because we have difficulty trusting, and we don't believe that the other person is going to be there for us, right? So in attachment, we learn this idea that we're always asking these two questions. Am I worthy of love and belonging, and will you be there for me? Right? And so the avoidant person thinks, yes, I'm worthy of love and belonging, but they're not going to be there for me. So I'm not going to really share my emotions. I'm not going to be vulnerable. If I am intimate, it's going to be on a surface level because I just don't know if you're going to be there for me. And so then there's that mix of the two, right? The disorganized, which is the push and pull that Lauren and I were talking about 2 weeks ago. Maybe you find yourself there where you sometimes feel like you want to be close to people, but you get so close, and then you feel like, I think I better pull away because you're worried about whether they're going to be there long term. And so it can be so confusing. And they are characterized in the literature as secure attachment and insecure attachment. Now, that just means that the insecure attachment styles are relating unhealthily. It's not to say I'm an insecure person. It is to say that the ways in which I'm relating isn't healthy, right? And so the encouragement, the admonishment from us tonight is to become aware of the way you connect with people in relationship and move toward having a more positive mental image of yourself and other people. You might be out there and you might be thinking to yourself, yeah, you don't know the people that I know because they've let me down and they've disappointed me. And that's why I don't trust people. Matter of fact, I don't trust anybody. And if that's you out there, I would say to you that when we characterize everybody, like we paint with a broad stroke of a brush, sometimes we're making people pay for the sins of other people. And we have to be really careful of that, because the literature says that more than half of us are secure in our attachment. And so everybody's not like what you've run into.
Right.
You may not believe me, but that's what the literature says. What are your thoughts about that, Lauren? Just talk to us about that. I'm just curious.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I, just want to reflect that last point. You might not believe that there are people out there that won't hurt you in the way that you've been hurt, but you won't find out either until you're secure and healthy in your own attachment. Because when you're secure and healthy in your own attachment, then you're able to recognize and see other people who are also secure and healthy in their attachment. Will help you make a more educated decision on the type of people that you want to let in to your life, you want to be involved with. So it's not so much about shutting yourself off and pushing everybody away. It's really about just getting the information so that you can make a better and more informed decision for your future. And that's why we're here, right? To bring the wisdom, knowledge, and the understanding so that you can live the life that you feel like you want to live.
What does that mean, though? So if I'm in relationship, I'm meeting new people. What we're talking about is when you are meeting new people or you're getting to know people that you don't know as well, it means I am observing folks. I am getting to know their compatibility potential. Are we compatible to work together on a special project, to be friends, to be in a romantic relationship, whatever? I'm looking for compatibility potential. I'm looking at the patterns in their previous relationships. I'm gonna tell you something to watch out for. If you meet with somebody, you getting to know them, and they talking about other people and about how, yeah, that person was awful and they just didn't do so and so and so and so. Listen to that. Just make sure you're paying attention to that because they're probably avoiding in their attachment.
Mm-hmm.
And what we're doing now is blinking. Like when you hear the descriptions, you'll begin to, we're not putting people in a box, but we are being aware of the pattern of people really not having a positive mental image of other people. And maybe you're sitting out there and you're like, oop, that might be me. So if that is, it's something to think about and say, ooh, I'm going to move toward
Mm-hmm.
having a more positive mental image of other people little bit by little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I can pick one thing out
Mm-hmm.
that maybe is positive about a person.
Yeah.
And maybe I won't be as close to that person, but I really want to be mindful of how I characterize people in relationships.
Yeah, and I think to your earlier point about what does that look like, what I'm hearing you say is just listen a lot more. Just kind of slow down and take your time. Listen and observe people. A lot of times we jump into a situation, whether it's a potential new friend, a new person on your team at work, a new coworker you're going to work really closely with, somebody you're interested in romantically, and we have these preconceived desires. We have this box that we want this person to fit in.
We got this idea.
We have an idea, yeah. We kind of try to put that person in that box. And I guess what we're telling you right now is just don't fight the urge to do that and slow yourself down and just observe. That's with your eyes and with your ears. You can't observe with your mouth, right? You can't observe with your mouth, but you can observe with your eyes and your ears. You can watch the way a person moves, the way a person treats people. You can listen to the things that a person says, and that will give you an indication on kind of like what you're working with. So, to segue, when you are looking to be a person with a secure attachment, or you are looking to involve yourself with others who have a secure attachment, these are some signs that you want to look for. We're just going to share a couple of those with you before we kind of get into the other stuff. I'll start with number one. A person with a secure attachment, an adult, not just a person, an adult, okay, is able to regulate emotions and feelings in a relationship. So emotional regulation, what does that mean? Well, I don't just go off when you tell me something that I don't want to hear or something that might upset me or might frustrate me, okay? And this is also something that we've all done. Nobody is exempt. We're not perfect. But as we move towards secure attachment, we are able to regulate our emotions. There's nothing that you can tell me that's going to make me want to physically harm you, or I'm not going to say nothing, not going to make me do it, but I'm able to restrain myself. I'm able to regulate myself, because I'm secure in my attachment. I'm not going to raise my voice at you. I'm going to do my due diligence because I'm able to regulate my emotions.
You mean I'm not going to cuss you out?
Right, exactly, because I'm secure in my attachment. When you're secure in your attachment, you realize that a lot of times when people are doing these outlandish kind of behaviors, there is a desire for, there's a certain desired outcome. If I want to intimidate you or scare you or hurt you, it's probably because I feel a way on the inside. So to work against that, you want to regulate the emotions on the inside. That on the other hand, show that then you're able to relate to the person as an adult, as a calm, collected human, as a calm, collected individual, because you've regulated your emotions. Ooh. I don't want to control you. I don't want to run you away, and I don't want to bring you in closer. I want to work on myself first when I get whatever information.
You don't want to match energy?
I don't want to match energy. I want to have regulated emotions, and I want to be secure in my attachment. And I want to be secure in the way that I relate to other people. So number 2, you want to read that one? That's a good one.
Goal-oriented behavior.
Wow,
when you're
that's
on
a
your
good
own.
one.
So you got some, as the young people are saying these days, you standing on business. You got something going on.
Yeah, you got some. You have some business. You have things that are important to you in a relationship, outside of a relationship. They are germane to who you are. This also kind of aligns with purpose. A person that's secure in their attachment isn't going to neglect. So that goes out to a lot of people who you have a really like goal oriented person. They're making conscious effort to spend time with you, but they are really aligned with their purpose and they are really focused on whatever it is that they feel like they're called to do. What I would say to you, if this person is still making, if you're in a romantic relationship, they're still making time and an effort to pour into that relationship, I want to encourage you to get some business and you to get a purpose. And that starts by just, sitting with yourself, figuring out what you like to do, what you feel like you're here for, and maybe you're married and you've had some children and you feel like, well, what is my purpose? This is a perfect time for you to figure that out. It's no better time like the present. No time like the present. Is that what people say? So for you to be secure in your attachment, you want to make sure you're moving towards having some goals and being goal oriented yourself. Yeah.
You also want to look at how you bond with people. Because secure people with a secure attachment are great at bonding, opening up to people, and trusting others. And so
that's a really important piece because a lot of times, I think, especially in culture today, there's an emphasis on not trusting anybody. I hear that so much. I don't trust people. Well, I just hear you don't trust the right people, right? Once you become secure yourself, then you understand the characteristics of a person. You're able to bond with the person.
Like attracts like. So when we trust ourselves, we're emotionally regulated. We'll find ourselves around people that are on the same type of time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, absolutely.
They're real zen. They don't pop off. Maybe they used to, but they don't do that no more.
And I think it says something about you and your healing when you've been through a lot.
Oh, yes. And you can still trust people.
And love.
Oh,
fully.
My God.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. And I think that's what the Creator intended for us. And sometimes people run away from opening up, bonding, trusting. There are cases where that can be healing. And restore your faith in humanity, restore your faith in people, even if it's just for a season.
My God.
Might not be forever. You with this person, y'all gonna be besties for the rest of your life, but it could be, those 5 years where you were walking through a really nasty divorce. And maybe that friendship didn't necessarily make it, but it served its purpose in the time. And your ability to trust somebody during a really tumultuous time in your life really carried you through, right? So that's a sign of somebody who is able to be secure in their attachment. The next one, you can communicate your needs effectively. Okay? Communicating your needs effectively.
You mean I don't say, you should know, we've been knowing each other for so long, you should know what I need.
Yeah, you don't do that. You don't do.
I can't read your mind.
Yeah, that's a hard one, right? Because communicating, we're not just talking about communication. We are talking about communicating your needs. That's really vulnerable.
It is.
Right?
That's what the secure attachment is.
Yeah, we got 5 people in.
Hey, good people.
Yeah, but that's super vulnerable. A need, that puts you in a, I hear my clients say all the time, well, I say, well, why didn't you express that? Right? And I can even thinking about my own self. Why didn't you express it? Well, I was afraid that once I expressed it, then, my needs won't be met. Yeah. So in our brain, we associate the expression as, the cliff. It's the end all be all. I put it out there. If you don't do it, I'm leaving you. Yeah. I put it out there. If you don't do it, the friendship's over. I put it out there. If you don't do it, I'll never trust you again. I put it out there. If you don't hold your end of the bargain, we're done. Right? And in some cases, that's appropriate. But I'd like for us to kind of think what it looks like to express our needs. That's our God-given right. It should be a regular thing. It shouldn't be dependent. Us expressing our needs should not be, the result of us being able to be happy or not. It's just simply the act of expressing our needs because that's our God-given right.
You're talking now.
You know what I'm saying?
You're
so
talking now.
We got to kind of change the way that we think. And also, this is just a download from the Spirit. Having a secure attachment with the Creator first. When you express your needs to a person, it's not the end all be all because the end all be all comes from the Creator, right? So if I say, I really, I'd like for us to spend more time together, I'm feeling neglected and it doesn't happen, I'm still going to live because my hope is in the Creator. I'm still going to be able to find joy. I'm still going to be able to show up to work the next day. I'm still going to be able to be fulfilled with my life if this person doesn't meet my needs. So that's just some encouragement. You're not putting yourself out there to be hurt or mistreated. You're in the practice for yourself of putting yourself out there, because it's healthy, right? It's healthy for you to be in a position to feel like I'm gonna say what I need. We tell children to do it. I know, when kids cry, we're like, stop crying. What is it? What's the problem? What do you want? What do you need? We should do the same thing for ourselves, and be okay with either outcome.
Well, the person meeting the need or not,
right,
is not a reflection on you. Their rejection is not a reflection. Is what we need to realize. Their inability or lack of capacity doesn't reflect on you unless you internalize it. And I think another thing that folks that have a secure attachment do well is we are comfortable being alone. So we are talking about in relationships and secure attachment, but secure people are comfortable being alone.
Yeah.
Because when we're alone, we explore places we'd like to go, books we'd like to read. And then when we're with our partner, we'd be like, look, I found this out. This is so dope.
Yeah.
And so that alone time is when we make that connection with ourselves. And we have to remember that you're attached to yourself primarily. And attached for spiritual people to the Creator, most importantly. And so the other attachments are the overflow of that. And so that's why if folks don't come through, you can't get a call through to them, whatever. You go up here, you go right here, you go out there if they're not out there. Like I say all the time, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. You win. 1, 2.
Remember Rosie said, I am love being alone.
Oh, come on. Yes. Yeah. And a secure person can do both, right? We bond well with people, but we also have a secure bond with ourselves. Positive mental image of ourselves, positive mental image of other people. We got a couple of more to go through, and then we're going to call it a night. It has been wonderful spending time with you good people. What else we
got? Strong capacity to reflect on how you are being in relationships.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
what you mean I can look at myself?
Right, absolutely. Ooh. So that looks, I guess the antithesis would be I never do anything wrong. I'm not the problem.
Well, that's a narcissist.
Yeah.
Have
you ever experienced that? That is so hard to deal with. Ooh, in like a friendship, in romantic relationship, I'm not the problem. That is just simply not even a factual statement. Right? Gosh. Because we both contribute to the relationship. So if the relationship is not doing well, both contributors are absolutely some capacity. So your ability to self-reflect. And it's similar to being alone because you spend time processing in general. That's a comfortable space for you.
Yeah.
So when somebody shares information with you, it's okay because you're going to process it anyway. So you don't have to be defensive. You don't have to, take it to heart. All you're doing is receiving because you practice, being introspective, taking your time to think about what happened, what was my contribution, if anything, to it, and what do I want to do with that. It's not kryptonite. It is just, the way humans react or relate to one another. They reflect on their on their parts in the relationship.
Well, emotionally mature humans do.
Humans with a secure attachment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Humans with a secure attachment do
Oh
that.
my God.
Very good.
Mm-hmm. Feeling like you have an impact on the world, we're going to leave you with this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of times we're interacting with people and they are kind of porcupiney, you know, they pokey, you be around, you try to hug them and they, you know, and you be like, oh, I was just trying to be nice to the person, whatever. But those of us that are moving towards security still know that we are making a difference in this world. So we get mad. It's an acronym, right? Instead of the emotion in us stewing in anger, we get mad and we decide instead of letting that anger get the best of me because somebody rejected me or was, you know, nasty to me, I'm not even going to take that to heart. I'm going to continue to make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
So get mad, people, but not the emotion. Let's not stay in that emotion because it's not healthy. Let's move to the place of that acronym, right? Just knowing that we have the auspicious privilege of moving the needle toward healing or hurting. So every interaction that you're having with your people that you love, you're either moving toward healing and being a source of healing with them, for them, or you're either moving toward hurt. And we decide. So let's take the knowledge that we have, apply the wisdom. Saying that, Lauren, what's the wisdom that you have for us tonight as we talked about secure attachment and like moving toward that, what that looks like? What would you say to us is wisdom tonight?
Yeah, I think for me, what I'm hearing is just really being introspective, not being afraid of reflection. A lot of times we're afraid to kind of go within and sit with, maybe things from our past or, things that have been said about us or situations that have come up, just kind of like quieting the noise around you and sitting with yourself on a regular basis to see kind of what comes up, because whatever comes up is who you are. And once you're able to connect with that person, then you can have a secure attachment or connection with those outside of you. So just kind of going within first, really sitting with yourself. Journaling, I think, is a really good way to a practical application of that. So just starting to journal every day. I mean, some of my clients are like, what do I talk about? What I just start with what you're grateful for, and then move from there. Just practicing letting the energy, just letting things kind of just take you. And then when you're able to read and reflect on what you wrote, that you're able to connect with yourself. And I think we've got to know ourselves before we go out and make impacts on other people because we want them to be positive. So just for me, the wisdom would be engage in self-reflection through mindfulness, meditation, and journaling as you're working towards secure attachment.
Yeah.
What about you?
Well, that was some good stuff. So I know we all got it. We are going to be about it. What I would say, wisdom for me, as we're talking about secure attachment and moving to a place of having a more positive mental image of ourselves and other people, I think wisdom is just be. Just allow yourself to be. Everybody on this call has a history, a background, and previous relationship experiences that have impacted how you see the world, how you see other people. And so being where you are, just be there and then look at what we've put out there tonight and just move toward it just a little bit, beloved. That's all I would say. Just move toward just a little bit. Maybe just moving toward trying to regulate your emotions a little bit better. Maybe that's what you'll pick, that one thing. Or maybe moving toward trying to bond with people a little, coming out of your shell a little bit.
Communicate effectively.
Yeah, telling people you maybe try to share a need with somebody. Just one little thing, beloved. Just be where you are. And I would say you are 100% accepted and loved where you are. And you're working on something. So just try one little thing. And we will be back in 2 weeks. And we'll just continue. I think we'll have a part 3 on the attachment.
Right.
We want to talk about these triggers.
Yeah, we were supposed to get to the triggers today, and we didn't even get there, which was fine. That was good. I think it was good to talk about what we're actually working towards and really to flesh that out.
Yeah.
So we really dove super deep into secure attachment styles in adult. And if you like this, you guys, comment. If you're in here, just let us know, like, hey, we really enjoyed this, or let us know what you liked about this. Just to recap, we have some like super exciting news coming in about 2 weeks that we've been working on diligently.
Yes.
And that we're excited to share with you guys. And the biggest thing, I think I'll make a big to-do about this in 2 weeks, is y'all, we reached 100 subscribers, which is so exciting. It's such a big deal. So thank you everybody who's took the time to like show up on live today and engage with us in the chat. We're very, very grateful for you. You're why we do it. So thank you for showing up. And we've got some really exciting things coming. You want to share anything else?
No, we love you.
Okay.
Incorruptible. And there's nothing you can do about it. We will see you in 2 weeks.
All right.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.